Are you thinking of selling your home on your own without a realtor? Watch this video so I can give you some tips so you can be super successful doing it. What's up, everybody? My name is Rob Scout and I'm with EXP Realty in Southern Maryland. Now this video is going to be a little bit different. Normally I talk to you guys about moving to Southern Maryland and how I can help you and all that kind of stuff, but this is for the people that are already living in Southern Maryland. But just like always, if you have any questions or need any help, make sure you use that contact information below and I'd be happy to help you make decisions, whether it's selling your home in Southern Maryland, buying a home in Southern Maryland, or just if you want to talk about the housing market in Southern Maryland. And as always, if you want, you can scroll down, click that first link in the comments, and I will have a Zoom meeting with you one-on-one to discuss your home buying or home selling needs. And last but not least, make sure if you like this content, click that subscribe button, click that little bell, and also smash that like button. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Today, we're going to do something that you may think is counterintuitive as a real estate agent to do for you, but we're going to talk about how best to sell your home. And what I want to be able to do is I want you to understand what it's like to sell your home on your own. And either you're going to jump into it and say, yeah, I can do this and I got this, or maybe you're going to reach out to that real estate agent that you trust and to help you do it. So I want to be upfront, honest, and not just try to scare you into doing one thing or the other, give you an honest perspective, my honest perspective of how to do this and kind of the pitfalls and the benefits of it. All right, so first and foremost, obviously everything you hear is one of the biggest benefits is that you're going to save money. Now, that's 100% true. So before I even get started on the steps I would say to list how to sell your home on your own, I want to say that you probably will save some money on commissions. So a lot of the time, the typical commission from a listing agent that you would hire to sell your home is about between 5 and 6%. So that means of the gross sales price, they would take 5 or 6% off of that and split that between the two agents. So people mistakenly think that when they sell their home on their own, they're going to be able to sell or save 6% of that sales price. And for the most part, that's not true. Because even when you sell on your own, you're probably going to want to compensate that buyer's agent, the person buying or the person representing the people buying your house, some percentage. I've seen it as low as no compensation, no commission whatsoever. And I've seen people do that 2.5%, 3% or 3% too. So it's kind of up to you, but just understand that while it is the buyer agent responsibility to do what's best for their client, it's going to attract more buyer agents if you are offering a commission on the house you're selling for sale by owner. So when you run your numbers to see if you want to do it yourself, make sure you're figuring that, yeah, you're not paying a listing agent 2.5%, 3%, but do plan on paying that buyer's agent some sort of commission from the sale of your home. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to want to do, you're going to be your own listing agent, so you're going to want to do research. You're not just going to want to research on Zillow, you're going to want to research everywhere you possibly can, looking at homes for sale, looking at homes sold, and looking at homes pending throughout your area, and really drilling down, not subjectively, not what you think, but what the numbers are telling you your home is worth. So really step back, take that 3-mile view and say, I love my home, but these are the things that are kind of holding it back from getting that top dollar. These are the houses in the areas that are similar to mine, and this is what they're going for. And then really figure out what price that seems to be the right fit for your home in its current condition in the current market. Now, I think this is one of the hardest things to do without a lot of input from a real estate agent. It can be really tough to get the information you need, and you need to be able to really look and know where to look and collect a lot of data to make an informed decision to price it right. That's one of my things that I think a real estate agent can really help you with is picking that right price. I know a lot of people feel right now, especially in 2022, that you can just throw anything up on the market and it's going to sell right away. I can tell you that whether it's for sale by owner or whether it's for sale by a real estate agent, if it's priced wrong, it's going to sit. And now, relatively speaking, it's going to sit. It's not going to sell in 1 to 2 days. It might sell in 30 days with a price drop, but still, you're not realizing the amount of money you could have if you just would have went with a real estate agent, or if you just would have went through and done that research to make sure you understood exactly how you should price the home. After you've priced your home in the condition it is, this is super important, and this is something that I really think every single person, whether you're selling with a real estate agent or you're selling by yourself, should do, is figure out if it's worth selling it as it sits right now or as is, or should you start doing some repairs. So make a list of things that you should fix, make a list of things that just need to get done around the house, put that cost out, and then really figure out if it's worth repairing those right now or if it's worth selling as is. I think, again, that can be a tough thing to do, and I think when in doubt, to be honest with you, fix it up, because inherently, most people just want to be able to walk in and walk into their house. And so if the money makes sense, fix it up. And also, as you're fixing stuff up, throw stuff out or move it into a storage facility. You need to declutter. So one of the biggest things, and one of the things that I feel like people, when we're going and seeing homes as a buyer agent, what really turns them off is all the clutter in someone's house. It's just stuff. I'm fine with pictures on the wall of family and stuff like that, but when there's just stuff on every surface and everything just feels like you're closing it on you, you can't feel like it's your home. So if you're looking for sale by owner, make sure you figure out what you need to fix and decide if it's worth it to fix it. And also, no matter what, declutter your home. Number 3, you need to hire a professional photographer, unless you're a professional photographer yourself. I hire a professional photographer for everything because I'm a professional real estate agent, not a professional photographer. Their work is so much better than the product you're going to put out. And for, $400 on average, you're going to get a return on that investment so much more than you can even imagine, because what you're doing when you're listing your home is you're showing people the photos online. That's the goal. That's the impression they get. And those photos are supposed to draw them in to see showings. So if you put your best photos up there, you hire the photographer in the area that's known for those great photos, you're automatically going to get people clamoring over your property because they're going to do a good job of putting those photos out there and just composing those photos in the right way, highlighting the different areas of your home. So I 100% believe whether you're a real estate agent or whether you're listing it on your own, you have to have professional photos. Really push for that. Number 4, I think, is one of the most important things. I'm big on security. When you start doing showings on your own, when people start coming to look at the house, you're going to want a way for them to access the house without you there. You do not want to be in the home when buyers come through. There is nothing more awkward than walking in and the owner, especially for sale by owner, is sitting right there as a buyer, or sitting right there, and you and your clients are walking through the home. Get out of the house and make it so someone can get into your house safely, securely, and you have them monitored when they get in and when they get out. So to do that, you could get a lockbox like a lot of real estate agents use, but there's also different combination keys you can put on your garage door, or combination locks you can put on your house too. So that would be my recommendation, is to change that front door lock to a combination lock for you. Have it connected to your Wi-Fi so when you know when someone's coming in, when you know someone's coming out, just for that safety and security, and just so you don't have to be there and put in that awkward situation of listening to people's conversations while they're walking through your house. So step number 5 is getting your home listed. So if you're doing for sale by owner, you can't just have a sign up in your yard anymore. You need to have it online. To get it onto Zillow, to get it onto Redfin, and to get it into the local MLS, you're going to need a listing company to help you do that. So there's different companies that do that, and if you just type in, for sale by owner listings, you'll come up with some in your area that probably can help you. I will say that they charge a certain amount of fee, but there's not a lot of help behind that and guidance in how you're going to list it. So make sure you're looking at other areas of how to write that description, how to properly display those photos. So when you put your listing up there, it draws the most attention you possibly can to your listing. And from that service, depending on who you choose, they'll push it out to Zillow, they'll push it out to the local MLS and Redfin and Realtor.com and all those other places, so your house will be everywhere. Again, but that's another added fee as a for sale by owner that you would incur. And of course, you can also put it on for sale by owner, Craigslist and all those other places, Facebook Marketplace. But I'm telling you, if you're looking for buyers, the best place to put it is where buyers are looking and where agents are looking. So getting it on that MLS, getting it on Zillow, and getting on Redfin, super, super important. All right, so number 6, you got it out there. Now you got to start fielding calls. Now, what you probably think is you're going to get a call from a whole bunch of agents saying, hey, I want to see your house. And that may be true, especially in this market. But what you're also going to get is a lot of calls from real estate agents saying, hey, you know what? You're for sale by owner. You're not going to be able to do this by yourself. Let me do it for you. And you're going to get inundated with those kind of calls. It's annoying. I try not to do that to for sale by owners, but there are a lot of people that do call as real estate agents and just say, hey, you can't do this. There's no way you're going to be able to get the money you want. Let me list it for you, blah, 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 blah. So just be prepared for that. That's a headache. But then also showings can be a headache, especially if you didn't set up that lockbox. So going back to that step 4, if you have that lockbox set up, when a real estate agent calls and says, hey, I want to schedule this showing, you can easily just give them the code either through, the showing app that you have through that multiple listing service, or, if you're comfortable giving over text or something like that, and they can just go and show the home. So that's why that lockbox I talked about in step 4 is super important. So once you're doing these showings, is that when you start having these conversations with the buyer's agent, I want you to understand that while the buyer agent has a legal responsibility to work with you, you're his, customer in a way, you're not his client. He has or she has a fiduciary duty, a legal duty, to get the best terms for the buyer. So in this situation, and this kind of goes to number 7 in my list of for sale by owners kind of stuff, is you have no one representing you except yourself. So a lot of people in these for sale by owners say, oh, don't worry, the buyer agent takes care of. At this point, the buyer agent takes care of everything. They draft up the contract, they get it over the title company, and all that's true. All that will happen. The buyer's agent will draft up the contract. The buyer agent will make sure that it gets over to the title company. But there's lots of other stuff that the buyer agent is not going to do, like making sure you have the correct disclosures when you go and list the property, and hopefully your MLS service helps you get those. But if they don't, you could be out of luck with that kind of stuff and open yourself up to some legal problems. But also, the buyer agent's number 1 priority is protecting their buyer. So any conversation you have with them as a seller, they're going to report back to their buyer. Any conversations, any negotiating chips, anything like that, they're reporting back to their buyer. Their number 1 job is to protect their buyer and get the best deal for their buyer, not to help you. Now they're going to help the deal to make sure it goes through because they want to see their buyer succeed, but really their onus falls, or their loyalty falls with the buyer, and they're going to make sure that within legal bounds, of course, that it works in their favor. So this is where I see, for sale by owners having the most or the least amount of leverage in a situation, because it doesn't feel good to kind of be out there on your own, not being represented by anyone, and kind of doing it on your own at this point. So, I personally think, it's great because if you have a seller's agent, if you have a listing agent, then they can help really walk you through these contracts. They can help you walk you through the disclosures and stuff like that. But you can also hire a real estate lawyer to help you go through the contract, make sure everything's on the up and up if you didn't want to have a listing agent there. And their fees can be pretty competitive as well, but that's just another service you're going to have to shop for. Or you can just kind of wing it and go on your own and do a hope and a prayer and hope it works too, I guess. But I don't recommend that. I would definitely say seek some sort of legal advice or legal counsel at this step when you're really dealing with that contract back and forth. All right, so at this point, when you sign a contract and you're going forward as a for sale by owner, the buyer agent is going to start sending that stuff over to the title company, and it's going to progress towards closing. There's a bunch of different steps in that closing process, too many to kind of go over in this video, but one of the benefits of having someone represent you is you can make sure those steps are being followed in the right order. Now, If you don't want, like I said, if you want to do this all for sale by owner, you can get your own lawyer, your own real estate lawyer to make sure the steps are progressing correctly. You can lean on the buyer's agent to make sure those steps are progressing correctly. But also, like I said, while they need to follow the law, their loyalty is with the buyer too. So they're going to make sure they follow the law and make sure the situation applies or is the best for their buyer. So after everything goes to closing and you're all done, you hopefully walked away with that 3% you were looking at on a $350,000 house. You're looking around that, 10 to 12 grand that you're keeping in your pocket. And so I guess it's really up to you. It's up to you if that headache or that hassle of going through the showings, of dealing with maybe a lawyer to help you through the legal stuff is worth saving that money. Or if your time is worth more than that. I think that's a personal decision, but I wanted you to be able to know what selling your house on your own would look like, especially here in Southern Maryland, and how best to be successful doing it, just so you're aware of, the pros and the pitfalls of doing it. All right, so hopefully this information was helpful. If you have any questions or need any help, make sure you use that contact information below. Call me, text me, whatever works best, and I'd be happy to help. So if you want, you can click down on that first comment, click on the link, and you can schedule a Zoom meeting with me to discuss your home buying or home selling needs. And last but not least, make sure you click the subscribe button, click the little bell, and also click that like button so you're notified every single time we put out new content about moving and living in Southern Maryland. Hope to see you on the next video.